Hey everybody, time for a little layout tour. Haven't done one for a while. We've got a heavily overpowered short local leaving Oregon City, running down the Willamette Valley, in front of Mount Hood, Christmas Tree Farm, up into the mountains, CJ Sawmill, heading up in through the Cascades, across the Pacific Crest Trail, into the tunnel at West Fir. This is our mountain area. Sawmill's got a lot of detail I put in, but it is landlocked now because of the extension. But it makes good prop, and it was fun to do. And we'll zoom back over. So train heads back up through Oregon City. Oregon City's got 3 layers to it. Bottom layer's down here next to the Willamette River. Trains are going down a 1% grade. In real life, it's flat here. The uphill part of Oregon City. We still have street running in the 90s, that's what I model. Municipal elevator, local businesses, little residential area, Clackamas River. Mike's Drive-In in Milwaukee, and my representation of Canby, Oregon, with the Canby Railway Depot Museum and its caboose. And this town is generic, fits in anywhere. So this brings us up here to Brooklyn Yard, which is now almost all intermodal. I stage most of my cars and trains up here except for the passenger trains. And since I model the 90s, I still can use Kodachrome. We'll let this guy come by. I usually film from this perspective. It's a rail fan's layout, not a real one built for operations. But here's some Portland and Western Power. There's a classic SD50T. Newer GP40. Still got Kodachrome. This pig train looks like he's got plenty of power. Denver and Rio Grande bought Southern Pacific in 1988 and operated it as Southern Pacific. So you used to see Denver and Rio Grande power up here. At the Brooklyn Yard Roundhouse, we've got excursion cars. We've got the daylight out sunning itself, the 4449. Another excursion car. I built that one, or at least I modified it. Here's Doyle McCormick's Alco PA, the way he brought it up from Mexico. Also his ex-Great Northern F7 274, which is running probably today at the Oregon Coast Scenic Railroad in Garibaldi, Oregon. So all these trains actually did live here. A lot of them are at the Oregon Rail Heritage Center right now. Google it, it's an awesome place if you ever get up here. So I'll spend a little time modeling Southeast Portland. I made blue tarp tents out of blue tarp material. Found little N-scale baskets, shopping carts. Did some street running here. There's leftover rails. I don't think you can see it terribly well, but in some of the road there's leftover rails. It's just rails I pushed down into the foam. Because I used, what is there, probably 2-inch foam there on top of the plywood. You know, I make a lot of my videos from right here. I didn't think about really videoing it when we built the layout, my son and I. Got to YouTube kind of late. But here's the layout in a nutshell. It's long enough to give a lot of good perspective. You can see a train coming for a long time. Come here through Oregon City. I think there's even a rail fan down here under the trees waiting for the train somewhere. There he is by the fence. Just watching the train come down through Oregon City. I always like going to my dentist up here because that's where his office was and you could hear him thunder through. We get a lot of Amtrak's, the Cascades every day, Coast Starlight north and southbound. Blue Heron Paper Mill, which is being demolished and sold. Who knows what it's going to be. I think a Confederation of Tribes have bought it. But I modeled it like the way it was like in the 80s and the 90s. In our rural area, cornfields. Garden. Got a lot of critters. Got our cattle and our horses. I could use better lighting over here, that is very true. Our Christmas tree farm. The back end of the sawmill. A little bit of Highway 58. It's in pretty poor condition. Looks just like an Oregon highway. Sometimes I like making a video from right about here, from in the sawmill. Like a lot of businesses out here, old box cars as storage sheds. I think they got an old mobile gas tank car used for water. And one of my favorite spots to film, as you know, is right about here. Little campground here. Pacific Crest Trail crossing. A little campground. The tunnel at West Fir. And we'll get one of our favorite shots here. Sometimes I make it look like I'm climbing up this little ridge. And as we follow our train around, by making this little extension and aiming it down, look, it can look like you're filming up the mountain as the train disappears. So that's how the layout's looking this day, here in December of 22. Just in a spare bedroom. Hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you watching and subscribing. Have a great Christmas time. Check out my Christmas card video I made for you. Black and white and color. And we'll talk to you later from Oregon City.